Hello and welcome to day 2 of our 12-day review of 3rd grade math using the 2017 STAR test. We've got just a few problems to look at today. We're going to start with number 13 from the 2017. Let me write that here so we can remember it. 2017 STAR test. And the students are asked to look at the land area in square miles of 5 different states. Trick right here is which comparison is not true. So that means 3 of them are true and 1 of them is not true. And all we have are the names of these states. Obviously, it's going to be best for us to go ahead and put some numbers next to these. So let me just go ahead and write these out here. So A, the land area of Alabama. So that is 50,744 is greater than, and let's see if this is correct, the land area of Mississippi, 46,907. So they both go to the same place value, so that's good. So we can look at the largest place value first. This is the 10,000th place. This 5 digit is greater than the 4. Doesn't matter what anything else is, that is correct. If the first one is larger, then you can just stop comparing. The land area of Arkansas, so we've got 52,068. Now we have a less than, and then we have the area of Alabama, 50,744. Well, once again, they both go to the 10,000th place. Those are even. So then we go to the next digit over. That's the 1,000th place. And it looks like that 2, this 2 is going to be larger than the 0, but it says it's less than. So I'm going to put a question mark on that one. I'm pretty sure that's going to be our correct answer, the one that's not true. But we always check all of them just to make sure. Oklahoma, 68,667 is greater than Louisiana, 43,204. Yeah, that's a lot larger. Let's see, 204, not 404. 204. Because this 6 in the 10,000th place is a lot larger than the 4 in the 10,000th place, and there's no need to compare any further. Let's look at D here. Louisiana is 43,204 is going to be less than Mississippi, 46,907. They're both in the 40,000s there. So let's look at the thousands place. That 3, yes, is less than 6, so that is correct. So when you're working a problem like this, write all of them out. Make sure every single one of them matches. Don't just eyeball it and just try to make your best estimate. Do the work. So the answer number 13 is going to be B. So let's hide that. Let's see what we have here on our second question that we're going to look at today is number 27. Now this one's kind of a tricky one. It's a place value one, but all we have are clues. So the number is less than 6,538. So let me put that over here as our upper boundary, 6,538. The number is greater than 6,355. So look at these two clues. The number is greater than this and less than this. That means it's somewhere in between these two numbers. And the number has a digit less than 5 in the hundreds place. Well, it doesn't tell me anything else, but I can tell you between 6,355 and 6,438, it is going to have a 6 in the thousands place, because that's the only way it can be below it. And it has a digit less than 5, so I could say 6,400 something. I could also say 6,300 something, as long as it's larger than the 55. So it's going to be between 6,356, because it has to be bigger than this, and it has to have a digit less than 5 in the hundreds, which means the largest number I can have with the 400s is going to be 499. So this is my range. My answer is going to be between 6,356. Now I've narrowed it down, which means only one of these is going to show up in that range here. 6,500. Nope, this one is wrong because it says it has a digit less than 5 in the hundreds place. Well, this does have a digit less than 5 in the hundreds place. The problem with B is that B is too small. B falls outside the range, so that's not going to work. It needs to be larger than 6,355. 6,519, that's not going to work. Once again, the digit is less than 5 in the hundreds place, which means it's going to have to be this D right here, the 6,449. It's going to fall right there, pretty close to 6,499, but that's going to be our answer. The answer is going to be D. So that took a little bit of work, but once you write everything out, it's pretty easy. Our third problem for the day is number 20, and it's kind of tricky because we are looking for equivalent fractions on a number line. Equivalent fractions. And the problem is this first one up here, it says this is where the 3/4 is. This number line is not lined up with the other ones. If you could just scoot it over to the left, it'd be pretty easy to see. And you can, just by kind of eyeballing, you can tell it's not going to be this one, but it could be any of these, the 7/8, the 6/8, the 5/8, the 5/6. That's kind of tricky. How can we figure this one out? Well, what we're looking at is how we can make equivalent fractions. So let's draw what we know up here. This is 3/4. So if I were to draw 3/4, it would look something like this. So I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to break it up into 4 parts and shade in 3. And so these other ones, it looks like they're 6ths and they're 8ths. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to first look at it by drawing circles, and I'll show you how you can do it without drawing circles. So 3/6. So you make 6, you cut it in half, and then you kind of make a big fat X like this to make some 6ths. And you look at 1, 2, 3 of them shaded in. So that's 3/6. That is not the same. And 3/6 is actually, looks like it's equal to a half. Looks like you just take it in half right there because 3 is half of 6. That's not going to be what we need right there. Let's look at 7/8. So 8ths are pretty easy. You take a circle, cut it into 4ths, then you draw an X to cut each 4th in half, and we're going to draw 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here's my 7. So it looks like it's close, but maybe a little bit too big. I'm going to kind of question mark this one. Let's look at this 6/8. So it's also 8ths. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's cut it into 8ths. And let's do 6 instead of the 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks like this might be the one we need. I'm going to question mark that one as well. And then let's look at this 5/6. Remember the 6, you're going to cut it in half and do a big fat X to make them equal. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks like it's a little bit too big. So I'm kind of stuck between the 7/8 and the 6/8. I think it's H/6/8, but how can I know for sure? Well, take a look at this one up here at the beginning. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. That's why it's 3/4. What we need to do is we need to see if, since we're both deciding between the 8ths here, can we cut this into 4 sections? And you actually can if you take 2 sections and count them as 1. So 1, 2, 3. There's my 4 sections. I'm going to do the same thing down here. 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So now I've cut them into 4ths here. And look to see where the star is. See, the star is not at this 1, 2, the third one over, just like this is in the third one over here. The 7/8 is a little bit too far over. It's like 3.5 out of 4. This 6/8 right here is in the 1, 2, the third position. So this is actually what we need. It is going to be this H. And so we've got 3/4, and let me show you just definitively. If you want to just know for sure, watch this. I'm going to draw a real nice 3/4. And here's the thing with equivalent fractions. If you can make a different fraction just by cutting the pieces into different sizes without adding or subtracting the shaded area. You don't change the shaded area. So there's my 3/4, right? Nice and big. I'm going to do a little bit of magic and make this 6/8. All you do is you cut each 4th in half, And look at what you have. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 6/8. So you can double check by drawing pictorial models, or you can just do it on the number line like I did towards the end, just by cutting it into different sections. Just make sure they're even. So this is the end of day 2. If you would like to learn more or to see what day 3 has in store, check out my website at aarondaffern.com.